I got. Yeah.
Go ahead and just test. Say test.
Testing.
It's on.
Can you hear me?
And one more time.
Good evening, everyone. Now you can hear me. All right. I call to order today's council meeting on March 11th, 2025. Tonight, the pledge will be led by Joseph Dominguez, and the invocation will be delivered by Pastor Grady Jones. Please stand
Please
for the
stand,
pledge
face
and
the
remain
flag,
standing.
put your right hand
for the
over your heart.
invocation.
Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for the invocation.
Let us pray, please. Father God, we once again come before your presence, thanking you for another day. Thank you for loving kindness you've shown toward mankind throughout the world. As we come tonight, Father God, we welcome your presence in this room. Father God, we pray that we come here one accord and be on one accord, that we do those things you're pleased with. Pray for our city council leaders, Father God, they go forth the plan for this year, Father God, and as we pray always for our nation. Our nation needs some serious help right now, Father God. There's so much trouble throughout the land. We ask you just intervene on behalf of those who worship you and those who love you and praise you. Bless those less fortunate we are, Father God. Again, keep this city in perfect mind will. Keep this council strong to continue the things that do uplift this city. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen. Amen. Everyone, please be seated. Okay, as we begin our meeting, we're going to need silence, please. Thank you, everyone. Good evening, and thank you all for joining us. Tonight, we are recognizing some special people and organizations in our community. Before that, we'd like to share a quick video. Oh, excuse me. Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. We would like to take roll call, please. It's okay.
Councilmember Aguayo.
Here.
Councilmember Olmos.
Here.
Councilmember Quer-Stallings.
Present.
Vice Mayor Lemons.
Here.
Mayor Delgadillo.
Present.
All present.
All right. Thank you, everyone. So before, we'd like to recognize some special people, as I've mentioned, and the organizations in our community. Before that, we'd like to share a quick video showcasing the new art on the water well number 16. Since the well sits across from a local elementary school, many of the photos highlight vibrant activities and services for our youth. Afterwards, my colleagues and I will gather at the podium. All right, we're ready for the video. Thank you. Would Joseph Dominguez please come back up? Joseph is a member of our Adaptive Recreation Program. Overseen by the Community Services Department, Adaptive Rec offers an array of inclusive activities for individuals with diverse abilities. This includes fun outdoor excursions, arts and crafts, social events, and so much more. In honor of Developmental Disability Awareness Month, we wanted to recognize all the amazing programs Adaptive Rec provides for participants and their families. Thank you for leading us in the pledge. And let's take a nice photo. That's in the front, Joseph.
Right here. In the middle, and if I can have council swoop in. Big smile, okay, Joseph? Okay. Joseph's ready. He's ready. Ready, and 3, 2, 1.
Thank you, Joseph. Would Amy Papageorges and Cynthia Godowski please come up? Amy is an executive director, and Cynthia is corporate sponsorship relations manager with the American Red Cross Long Beach and South Bay chapter. They are here to accept our proclamation for American Red Cross Awareness Month. The Red Cross shelters, feeds, and provides comfort to millions of people affected by disasters and difficult situations every year. They supply about 40% of the nation's blood. They teach skills that save lives, support veterans, and dispatch help all over the world. On a personal note, while stationed overseas with my husband and son at Clark Air Base in the Philippines, I received an urgent phone call from the Red Cross that my father had passed away. The Red Cross assisted with arrangements to fly my husband, son, and I back to the States. The Red Cross was truly a lifesaver in a time of need. Thank you. Thank you. During the recent wildfires in Los Angeles County this past January, the Red Cross provided critical aid to those displaced by the devastating fires. Not just this month, but every month, we'd like to acknowledge the countless volunteers, donors, and staff who selflessly dedicated themselves to this noble organization. Would you like to say a few words?
I would, yes. Thank you.
Ahead.
Thank you, Mayor, City Council. It's nice to see all of you here this evening. We sincerely do appreciate the ongoing and longstanding partnership with the City of Paramount. And I wanted to share the incredible work, as she referenced, regarding the Los Angeles wildfires. And before I do that, I see first responders here in the room, and I'd like to acknowledge them. Some really wonderful information to share with you. Thanks to dedicated partners such as the City of Paramount, we were able to provide over 20,000 overnight shelter stays to residents that were displaced and lost homes due to the wildfires. 20,000 overnight stays. We served more than 170,000 meals and snacks to those individuals over the course of many, many, many days. We distributed over 3,289 cleanup kits, which are just essentials that folks that were re-entering their homes and neighborhoods for the first time would have so that they could help do some cleaning up during that horrible time that they were experiencing. So, in light of what we saw during the wildfires, my takeaway for all of you this evening and my challenge for you is this: make a preparedness plan. I urge you to create an emergency kit and a to-go bag, and don't forget your pets. They also need a to-go bag, right? They are family as well. Don't forget medication, eyeglasses, anything that you would need. Have it ready to go somewhere that if you need to evacuate quickly, you can grab it and take it with you. And that will go so far in case you really do need it, God forbid. Develop a family communication plan, critical to being able to find your loved ones in case something happens, and stay informed about potential disasters. So our chapter is right next door in Long Beach. We cover you in Paramount, and we're here to serve, and we do appreciate each and every one of you. So thank you.
Would you like me to
Okay,
take
yes, I am.
I can have council, everybody. Big smile. Ready, 1, 2, 3.
Would Pastor Grady Jones please come up and join us at the podium? Tonight will be the last time presenting the Mayor's Gold Key Award as your current mayor. This award is reserved for those who have made lasting impact on our community. And Pastor Jones is a shining example to that. For 43 years, Pastor Jones has led the New Commandment Missionary Baptist Church with unwavering dedication and compassion. As a resident of Paramount for nearly 5 decades, he has not only served his congregation, but has been a shining example of what it means to uplift others. In 2016, Pastor Jones hosted an uplifting conversation at his church that helped develop the group Unity in the Community. He is current president, and the group helps foster inclusivity, understanding, and open dialogue between the community and law enforcement. Whether offering words of inspiration during invocation at the city council meetings or supporting families through the annual holiday toy drive giveaway, Pastor Jones' kindness and service have touched countless lives. Pastor, your faith, leadership, and heart for this community has made Paramount an even brighter place. It is my great privilege to present to you with the Mayor's Gold Key Award. Go ahead, all yours.
I'm country boy from Arkansas. Come to this city, I've been here for almost 5 decades, you said, but it's through the city council we work with so many years, and we have the best council in America. All women, best city council in all America. We praise God for you in the city. It's been good to me over the years, my family, and truly we try to uplift our city and uplift those citizens of our city, because again, only what you do for Christ will last. So it's been a joy to serve you over the 50 years plus, and hope to 50 more, God willing. But it's all you working together, whether you're a Paramount member or not Paramount member, or New Commandment member, not New Commandment member, you all God's children. We praise God. But again, we ask you to pray for our nation, our leaders, and to the council. You're all the best.
Thank
You are the best.
Thank you.
And you have embraced me over the years. And again, from where I come from to where I am today, you wouldn't believe it. About the grace of God. He's brought us up long ways. Let's pray for each other, make our nation better. Even though there's a cloud on our nation right now, God's able to move that cloud. Let's pray for unity in our country. Thank you so much.
regroup? They can regroup.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and shift to the back.
Let's go to the back faster. We're going to stand
Anybody
back
here?
here.
So if I could have council
Watch your step.
in the back step, please.
Watch your step.
Yeah. And can I have you?
Yeah, you haven't got a chance to say that. Yeah. Are you sure? No, I was going
If I can have you.
to sleep in and just get better.
Watch your step, watch your step. If there's other church members that would like to join us, Nika. Hey, they're shy. It's okay. We're gonna have to Photoshop them. If I can have you stand up. Yes. Right there. How does that look? Just because of the step, but we can, we'll see. Perfect. With that, get everybody. Okay. Okay. And you're okay going on in a second? As long as you're okay going on in a second. Eric, if you don't mind. Be careful. Watch your step there. Okay. Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, make sure it's locked.
There's Brother Parks, he's coming.
Come on, Park.
Come on, Brother Parks.
Okay, sounds good. Take care. If I can have you ladies actually shift over here. Yes. Mr. Park, we can't see you, so sorry. We have you shift over to the back. There you go. That way you can park it a little bit more. That's perfect. Okay, we want to see everybody's faces. Does that work? Can I have you move a little bit this way? Right there, right there. There you go. Perfect. Can I have you stand up on the step? No, there's no step for her. And then let's have you guys look back a little bit. Does that work? All right, everyone, big smile. All right, ready? And 3, 2, 1. Got it?
New commandment.
All right. Thank you so much. Watch your step, watch your step. Watch your step, gentlemen. Thank you.
You're well. Oh, yes, Pastor.
One more thing I'd like to say, we have the best, the greatest city manager in America, John Marino, and his whole staff,
So your last name is my maiden name. I'm Vanessa Melson.
Are you really? From what? Was he or SA?
With a ZA.
Okay, would members of the Women's Club please join us?
So it's interesting that
Yay! With us today, we have Cecilia Edinger, who is Vice President, Lucy Haas, who is Hayes, who is Treasurer. Gerda, what are you, Gerda? Okay, Gerda. I know. It's not written down, so I'm having a problem. Okay, this is Gerda, everyone. And let's see. And we have Jean.
Jean Williams.
Exactly.
Corresponding secretary.
Yeah, Jean Williams, corresponding secretary. And my sister Diane Martinez, who just walked up, who's a member of, and myself, I'm a member of the Women's Club also. Yes. And Velma Stallings. And Brenda's also a member of the Women's Club. So we're all here. Okay. Tonight, the club is joining us to celebrate March as National Women's History Month. Women's History Month is a time to celebrate the remarkable contributions of women throughout history and in our own community. Here in Paramount, we are proud to have an all-female city council who are a testament to the power of collaboration and leadership. On city staff, we witnessed firsthand the incredible impact of women in recreation, finance, planning, public works, the arts, and beyond. Each day, women in Paramount are making a difference and shaping its future. The Women's Club have been making a positive difference in Paramount for almost 100 years. They help our families and students in a variety of ways. They also provide a great opportunity for local women to give back to the community. Thank you for accepting this proclamation on behalf of National Women's History Month. If you will, please, when we have the proclamation. Okay, Mr. Housing President, there you go, Lucille. Would any one of you like to say a few words? Go ahead.
Well, I'm not really well prepared because the president and the dean didn't show up. They have other things they had to do. But I really like the club. I like all these ladies and the ones who couldn't come, and we do a lot of things. And our most recent thing was we wanted to help fire victims too, but we wanted to help find one person that we could really help. And with the help of Diane, we found a family, and the gentleman, he was born and raised in Paramount. And so it was from the Eaton fire. And our club was able to raise $1,100. And they asked for gift cards to Stater Brothers. So that was a nice thing. So that's like our latest project, okay? And yeah, we're always busy, so it's fun. That's all I got to say.
Would you like to say a few words, Gerda? No. Okay, we will have a picture, everyone.
Let's go ahead and to the front. You want to go up? Okay. Let me have you come this way.
Okay.
Mayor, we're going to go to the back.
I think this is backwards. Oh, wait, no, I got it.
I do. Yeah, thank you.
And if you wouldn't mind coming right over here, just to zoom it out. Wonderful. Okay, everyone, big smile.
And then me in a couple years too. I don't know.
Hey, everyone, we're moving on. And unfortunately, Dr. William Nelson, the PUSD Assistant Superintendent for Educational Services, is unable to join us this evening. But we're going to continue. March is also recognized as Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month. Paramount is a city that values inclusivity and compassion. We are proud to stand as a community where every person, regardless of ability, is welcome, supported, and encouraged to thrive. We are inspired by the determination, creativity, and bright spirit of those diverse abilities, as well as by the families, caregivers, and organizations who advocate for a more inclusive society every day. That is why tonight we would like to recognize Paramount Unified School District's Special Education Program. Through their efforts, our school district fosters an environment of acceptance, understanding, and opportunity for our students with special needs. By fostering understanding and celebration all abilities, we not only enrich the lives of students, we strengthen at the heart of our community. Now we have a proclamation that we will hand to Dr. later on at a later time. So we're going to move on. And now we got the Paramount High cheerleaders coming on. Would coaches, excuse me so you can hear your names, would coaches Martha Huerta, Grelyn Perez, and members of the Paramount High School cheer team, please join us. Okay, I'm going to speak. For the first time in school history, the varsity cheer team won the Division I title at the National High School Cheerleading Championship in Florida this past February. The team also secured the CIF Southern California section title and finished second in the CIF state competition, marking the program's most successful season to date. We'd like to recognize PHS Cheer for a job well done. We know that it took countless hours of preparation and determination to succeed. Congratulations, everyone, on your wins. Would anyone like to say a few words? Go ahead. All yours. Go ahead.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Martha Huerta. I'm the head coach for the Paramount High School cheer team, specifically our competitive cheer team. This is something that didn't happen overnight. These athletes have worked day in and day out, doing 2-a-days, sometimes 6 a.m. in the morning, 7, 8 o'clock at night to about 9 o'clock at night. Winter practices. I mean, it has been a lot of work put in by these amazing athletes. A lot of support from my advisor, Ms. Geraldine Perez. A lot of family support. And we would not be here had we not had that. It's been something that's been a goal of mine for the last 3 to 4 years. And as with anything, it doesn't happen from one day to the next. I am very, very grateful that not only these kids, but Ms. Perez and their families were able to trust me, to trust in a vision that was not tangible yet. And here we are, 3 years later, national champs, national D1 champs, CIF state runner-up. I'm super, super excited, so happy, and extremely proud to always represent the city of Paramount, always in my heart, wherever I go. So thank you guys so much.
And if I can have so just if you can choose. Yeah, there we go. I know, yeah. There we go. There you go. You're good right there. Perfect. All right. Okay, big smiles.
Congratulations once again, cheer. Would members of the Paramount Youth Soccer Organization please come up? It's your turn. Now it's your turn, huh, guys? Welcome, welcome.
Are you the 2014? 2012? 2012 on this side.
Okay, we're ready. Okay, the Paramount Youth Soccer Organization was founded in 2017 to share the love of soccer with kids around the community. PYSO provides inclusive and fun space for kids of all ages to get active and learn more about the sport. These teams achieved outstanding success, earning the title of SoCal Tournament Champions. The SoCal Tournament, affiliated with U.S. Soccer, showcases the best youth soccer talent in the region. Under the direction of Coach Perez, where are you? Raise your hand, Coach. The 2012 division achieved a record 11 wins out of 12 games during the 2024 fall tournament. The 2014 division, guided by Coach Ohano, also demonstrated remarkable skill, securing 9 wins out of 12 games in the same tournament. Coach, could you raise your hand, Ohano? Thank you. Both teams have shown exceptional dedication, skill, and teamwork, contributing to their success and bringing pride to the Paramount community. Great job, everyone. Thank you for representing Paramount so well. If you wish, would anyone like to say a few words? Coaches, would anyone like to say a few words? It's optional, okay. It's optional, okay. If you wish, we will all take a photo.
Yes. All right, so if I can have some space here so that council can walk by.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let me get the 2014. Let me have the team scoot back a little bit more. And then if I can have the coaches on the opposite side right there. Let me have the team scoot back. No. Perfect. Can I have Coach stand right next to me? Almost. And then let me have the team scoot back a little bit. Watch your step. Let me have you spin. Let me have you spin more this way.
Okay, everyone. We're ready to continue. Would members of the LA County Sheriff's Department and the LA County Fire Department and Paramount Public Safety please join us? Oh my goodness.
And then let me have the fire department on this side, please.
Welcome, welcome. Welcome. Okay. As we mentioned earlier this evening, there were several devastating wildfires that overtook Los Angeles County last January. The fires devastated many cities, causing people to lose their homes, businesses, and in some cases, their lives. While our hearts go out to those who lost so much, we also wanted to take a moment to recognize the bravery and life-saving efforts of our first responders. Many organizations, including deputies and firefighters who serve Paramount, responded to the call for help. In fact, the vast majority of Paramount deputies were sent to the front lines. And Fire Station 31, consisting of 5 engines and a battalion chief, was assigned to the Eaton Fire for 2 weeks, where they diligently performed fire suppression operations. Deputy Aliconis, who is here today with the LA County Sheriff's Department, helped guide an elderly woman to safety after she missed earlier evacuation calls due to losing her hearing aids in the fire. Since the start of the fires, LASD has deployed resources and roving patrols to protect the community and properties. All these examples show the compassion and unwavering commitment these individuals carry with them every single day. Your courage and sacrifices are an inspiration to us all. Thank you for your service and remarkable dedication for helping others.
Yes. And then this one. You can just and then one for the fire department. Okay. So watch your step. So who would like
Now, would there like to be anybody that would like to say a few words?
Our partner and Deputy Mata would like to say something.
Let's hear him.
Hello, good afternoon all. My name is Deputy Mata. I'm assigned to Lakewood Station here in Los Angeles County. We just want to say thank you guys for this recognition. We really do appreciate it. I just want to let you know that none of us do it for the recognition. We just do it because we do have a passion to serve. And when we go out there, although it is a little bit miserable, we do enjoy what we're doing because we know in the bigger picture, we are helping those who are in need. So once again, thank you for this recognition, but this is not what we do it for. We do it because we genuinely enjoy helping people. Thank you.
Hi. Thanks. Hello, my name is Battalion Chief Alex Linton. Work here with these guys in City Paramount. We'd like to say thank you for all the support. We'd like to say we're in Eden Fire for 14 days, 2 weeks, and these guys work hard every day. And I'd like to say thank you for this presentation.
Okay, now we will take a photo.
Yes, photo time. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll have you all the way up to the last step, and we're gonna have council in the front. Yes, that's perfect. If I can have you stand. Good idea. Wonderful. And who will be holding the proclamation? Oh, you're it, right here. If we can have you stand right here. That work? That looks good. And 3, 2, 1. Okay, one more. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Thank you so much.
One more to go. 21 pages. Girl, I'm tired.
Okay, you got it.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your service. Thank you, guys.
I gotta wait.
Stand up here with us.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Have a good night.
Thank you. Now, for our final presentation, we will be recognizing another city retiree. Would LaShawn Shannon, former city maintenance worker, please join us? Mr. Shannon worked in Paramount for over 31 years. He began his Paramount career as a part-time maintenance aide in 1993, was promoted over the years, becoming senior maintenance worker in 1996. During his time, he acquired quite a bit of experience and expertise in our landscape division. Mr. Shannon played a key role in numerous projects, making a significant impact on the beauty of our parks and open spaces. He also took the time to mentor and train staff in essential skills like irrigation management, tree planting, and various planting techniques. His commitment to sharing knowledge and fostering growth with his team ensures that the city's green spaces will be maintained for years to come with the utmost care. The Public Works team has shared that his leadership and dedication will sorely be missed. Mr. Shannon, thank you, and we wish you nothing but the best in the next phase of your life. All yours.
Good evening, everyone. Since I'm the last one here, I just got a couple of small things that I would like to share. First of all, I want to say that I'm actually humbled, real grateful and thankful to have been working here for as many years as I have been here, 31 plus years, approximately 32 years, somewhere in there. I want to say I'm deeply humbled, grateful for the city that gave a young boy an opportunity many years ago, that took a chance and took a gamble on a kid that was still trying to grow and find himself. So I'm very grateful to the city. Not only that, but we have council here. Thank you all going forward and all those things. And to the homeowners, all you sitting out here in the seats, it's because of you that guys like myself or young ladies can be up here for X amount of years if they just hang on. It's a little tough. I've been around for a while, but I'm most grateful. I've been knowing John. Where you at, John? Been knowing John for a long time. Got an opportunity to meet Giselle. So it's all been great. We have a new director that's been around for a while, Adriana. But I'm really grateful and humbled by it all. So I want to say I think the city is in great hands. For those of you that was here to see that well, that's a big deal. Whether you know it or not, that well is a big deal. But I think we have great council and a great city manager. Been knowing John a long time before John even got where he's at. You know what I mean? We used to wait around for somebody to make the call in the yard. Can we leave at 1:30, John? You know, on a holiday or something like that. But John been a cool dude. He's always been. And when he said his door was open, I don't know where everybody else was at with it, but since I felt like I knew him like that, I haven't had to come here to use that door, but he was in public safety once. I did get a chance to go in there, and he said, Sean, sit down, let's talk what you got going on. But anyway, John took care of me, and everything worked out. But I'm just humbled and grateful to all. And I just want to say thank the city and everyone. I'm humbled. Thank you, everybody.
And also LaShawn. Here you go, sir.
Shannon Boulevard, or was it Shannon Boulevard? I like it.
There we go.
Service.
Kind of cool.
I like that's old.
Yes, before that, can I get John?
John, that's a picture.
Can I get John?
Yeah. Yes. I think it's my shirt.
Is it just you two? Good question, Madam.
And Adriana. Adriana, you want to join? She's Public Works Director.
Yes. Okay, this can. Oh, family photo next? Yes, 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 family owned. Yes, come on up.
So if you want to stay in the
My sister, brother, my wife, my niece, and nephew, my sister. All right.
We'll shift to the back.
The lady in the green jacket actually is my wife. That's my sister. That's my wife, Michelle. These my niece and nephew. That's my daughter. That's my brother, Kendall.
Oh, cute. Cute. That's his birthday today. I think so. Happy birthday, Kimmy.
I said you were going to make him.
Okay, this concludes our presentations for the evening. We will now take a short recess and resume business portion of our meeting shortly. Thank you. Mr. Moreno, are we ready now?
We are, Madam.
Okay.
We're always ready.
Okay, on there.
All right.
Okay, I call the meeting back to order. Mr. Moreno, are there any public comment updates from the last city council meeting?
Yes, Madam Mayor, we do have one from Mr. Robert Cruz, who spoke at the February 25th City Council meeting. He was requesting changes to the city's summer concert lineup that included diversifying music, moving to another venue, and shifting timing. So under previous city council direction, the staff has already been exploring and working on including different musical performers for added diversity. And regarding the venue, the city council explained to Mr. Cruz that we had previously held summer concerts at Paramount Park and we experienced low attendance and a lack of shade. And the fact that Progress Park tends to have better attendance, more trees, more canopy. So that's why the council decided to keep these summer concerts at Progress Park. And with that, that concludes the public comment updates from the February 25th City Council meeting. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, questions from council? Anyone? Okay. Now is the time that members of the public may comment on items that are not on tonight's agenda. Mr. Moreno, are there any speaker cards this evening?
Yes, Madam Mayor, we do have three. The first one is from Ms. Andrea Crow from the Paramount Library. Ms. Crow.
Good evening, Mayor Delgadillo, Vice Mayor Lemons, council members, and the residents of Paramount. Paramount Library is celebrating Women's History Month with a special program for children. Tomorrow, Wednesday, March 12th at 5 p.m., children ages 5 to 12 will learn about women in science and their contribution to paleontology. Children will also think like a paleontologist by combining puzzle pieces to create a dinosaur. For virtual programming, this month we have a U.S. citizenship information session provided by our partners at NALEO. Learn about how to become a U.S. citizen, including the benefits of citizenship, eligibility and document requirements, cost, and English language exemptions. A session will be held in English on Thursday, March 13th at 5 p.m. A Spanish session will be held on Wednesday, March 19th at 5 p.m. Visit lacountylibrary.org to learn more about our events and services. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Our next speaker's card, Madam Mayor, is from Ms. Johanna Navarro, and she would like to discuss with the council the petition of City Code to own chickens.
That just keeps me busy.
Is there anyone we can tell how much time?
All right, this is harder than I expected. I talk amongst high school kids all day, but you guys are intimidating. Just throwing it out there. All right. I'm Joanna Navarro, go by Jo. This is my daughter, Cameron Felix. Let me take a quick deep breath here. I got 2 minutes and 43 seconds. Cool. All right. All right. So my name is Jo. I am a resident of Paramount. I have been for the last all my life. I'm here today to seek information and petition the city code. The only current code I have found is 6.32.110, which states any animal to be nuisance, which by any sound of cry shall interfere with the comfortable enjoyment of life or property by an individual. So far that's kind of all I have found in terms of owning chickens on a property. By any interpretation, this sounds like an ordinance of noisy animals, which can include birds, dogs, and cats, as well as fowls, horses, and other livestock. I want to challenge the ordinance and see if it can be amended. Neighboring cities such as Downey, Lakewood, Compton, Norwalk, Bellflower, etc. allow 3 and 4 and sometimes even 10 chickens per property, respectively. As you can see, obviously, eggs are at a crazy high. But we've had our interest in owning chickens for a very long time. Not only for ourselves, but for our children at home. They have them at their school, and it's created a sense of responsibility for them. And they've had them in incubators at school. They've grown them from there. They've been able to take them home. However, we haven't yet, hopefully. So I want to know, how can we work together to allow such ownership for our Paramount residents. It is evident our neighbors and residents have the luxury of owning chickens and enjoying their home-grown eggs. So why not here? And that is it for myself. Any questions?
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Our last speaker card, Madam Mayor, is from Mr. Eddie Garcia from the after-school program called Think Together. Mr. Garcia.
So good evening, everyone. My name is Eddie Garcia. I'm the Executive Director for Think Together, which we have a partnership to provide your after-school programs at your middle schools here in the city of Paramount. Very happy to report that our percentage for ADA, the attendance that we've earned, it's probably really high right now. We have about 108% at one of our middle schools. The lowest is 65, but it's still really good. So all the other schools are in their 90%. So we're really meeting that attendance goal that we need for the after-school program here in Paramount. Middle schoolers are very different in their sense. Like, they talk with their feet. If they don't like something, they're not coming, right? And so we really have to find ways to engage those students so that they continue coming. Some of the different programs that you ever walk on some of our campuses that I'd like to invite you to walk on some of our campuses is you're going to see kids doing culinary arts activities. We also have yoga for the students. We have theater arts for their students. There's street soccer. That sounds bad, street soccer, but it's an actual program that's called Street Soccer that kids learn to play soccer, but it's actually happening on the school grounds. It's not on the streets, folks. So just want to clarify that one. We also have kickboxing and just a variety of other activities that we have for the students at our middle schools. So we're really, really proud of doing that. The more kids that we have on campus, it's great because we're keeping them in a nice, safe environment until their parents are able to receive them and bring them in the home. So, and I think that's the city's goals, right? Is safe, healthy, and attractive environment. And so that's exactly why we're aligned with what we're doing with Think Together, the partnership that we have with you folks, and also in collaboration with the Paramount Unified School District. And it's actually really nice, and I think it makes my job a lot easier because we're all on the same page. It's common goal, common purpose, and safe environment for kids is what I'd like to do, and I know that's what you like, and also the Paramount Unified School District as well. So we're all in alignment what we want for our community. So thank you all for your continued partnership, and I appreciate working with every one of you. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, sir.
And that's it for public comments, Madam
Thank
Mayor.
you. Next, we have the City Council consent calendar. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Ms. Luz, may we have roll call, please?
Councilmember Aguayo?
Yes.
Councilmember Olmos? Councilmember Quer-Stallings?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lemons?
Yes.
Mayor Delgadillo?
Yes.
The motion carries.
Thank you. Our first item of new business is an oral report providing an overview of the K Solace program. Mr. City Manager, may we have the report, please?
Certainly, Madam Mayor. For over a year, we've made available to Paramount residents the service of a free app that serves kind of as a concierge to help navigate and acquire mental health services. And as we know, this can sometimes be very complex. So our first item tonight is a presentation by a guest presenter from Care Solace. That's the name of the mental health app provider. And this came as a request by the City Council that this presentation be given to see how much the service is being utilized by our residents. So with us tonight is Ms. Anita Ward from Care Solace. Hi, Anita.
Hi. Good evening, Mayor, council members, City Manager. It's an honor to be here, especially since it's Women's History Month, and I don't often get to present to leaders that are all women, so it's kind of iconic for me a moment. I might fangirl a little bit. I love Paramount. I love working with you, so just thank you so much for the opportunity to be partnered with the city. What I'm going to do is share with you, there's a monthly report that gets produced around the data and the impact and what we're doing here in the city. And so what I thought I would do is, while the whole impact is loaded, I'm not going to overwhelm you. I'll skip through some of these slides, and because I'm having trouble seeing anymore, I do have them in front of me as well, embarrassingly. So as the city manager said, We're basically your partner in a concierge-like service to provide access to mental health care providers for all of your residents. And using the QR code, they simply access our services either through phone calls, by going to the website, or actually scanning the QR code and getting directly to a care manager. We connect all of the parts of the city, including a lot of your businesses as well as nonprofits, and the Red Cross, frankly, who was here just a moment ago. So we're really becoming that hub, if you will, for the city. I am delighted to present the numbers today because we've already helped 3,000 individuals have used our services. And for those individuals, we have provided what we think of as 18,000 services. Now, I don't know if any of you have ever had to place a call or try to find a mental health provider. I've had to in my own family, and it took 60 to 80 calls because I'm navigating things like language and ethnicity and specialization, and do they take my insurance? And if I don't have insurance, what do I do then? And then are they available? And what happens is people just give up. It's a frustrating effort, and 80% of the time, because they can't get a connection, they give up. What we do on behalf of them is we make all of those calls. We navigate their languages. We navigate cultural relevance. We find them providers that take their insurance, and if they don't have insurance, then we find providers who will help them navigate sliding scale or do pro bono work. So we remove all of the obstacles to care, and then we actually make the appointment, work with your resident, and if they can't get to the appointment, we find transportation for them so they can. So we're taking that concierge service all the way from the moment that a resident calls us or reaches out to us to matching them with providers, and then making the appointment, getting them to care, and then following up. So on behalf of them, that means we have made about 18,000 of those phone calls and services and tracking folks to get them into care. I'm really proud of the fact that we are doing this. We're matching people in a day, essentially. So we're navigating quickly, getting them into care, because that's most critical for us. And then the time to the appointment is about 6.5 days, but that also depends upon the availability of your resident as much as it does with the provider. So we're feeling very proud of the fact that we are getting people into care. And at the same time, where that says 95% matches, only 5% of people who are using us actually don't follow through on an appointment. So we're very happy that we're able to get them both into care as well as actually matching them. These are the zip codes, and that we are predominantly taking calls or servicing. I'm sorry, I can't read them but it's 90723 is about 40% of the calls or matches that we're getting come from that zip code. And then the other two, 90022 and 90733. Now, there are many more zip codes that I actually use, and the reason we track that is because, especially during the fires, we were getting lots of calls, even from other zip codes, but simply handling them because the truth is that whoever calls us, we help. So it doesn't matter what the zip code is. If they call on your call, we're going to help them. And I want to focus for a minute on this particular chart, because what we saw in January were people experiencing all kinds of level of mental health trauma, depression, anxiety related to the fires, and we doubled the individuals that we helped. There are 537, and for the most part, anybody who called us in January had some either direct impact because of the fires or a tangential impact, or sadly, survivor's guilt. Like, what is happening in my life, and why am I here? So we saw levels of depression, anxiety, trauma going up tremendously as we took those calls, but we also doubled the volume in the month of January. It dipped back down, but February is a small month, and I will caution us all to realize that the impact of the fires on mental health is going to have a very long tail. So we'll keep tracking that and reporting it back to you, and then tying it back to the impact. I realize our first responders are gone, but we actually helped about 27 or so first responders with their mental health too. So sometimes we think it's just about the residents, but those teams are struggling maybe even more, or at least as much as many of the residents as they dealt with that trauma. We've talked about time to match. I'll skip through and go straight to what we're seeing in the data because we look at the data across a number of categories, age being one of them. Did I just skip that again? There we go. John, stop me if I do that. I get crazy with these clickers. I'll point out a couple of points, and my dream ultimately is, you have probably recall me saying in the past, given my own history of being chronically unhoused, is how do we help the kids? How do we get down generationally? And so I look at this cross-generationally, and as you see, depression and anxiety over the last 13 months in that Gen Alpha and Gen Z population is 60%. Kids are struggling. We're getting a lot of them into care. And then what we're trying to do is wrap our arms as well around the parent and treat the whole child. So not only are we getting children into care, but then assessing the situation more broadly and making sure that, is there an underlying insecurity around food? Is there an underlying insecurity around housing? Is there underlying insecurity with mental health with a parent or guardian as well? And then as you look across the generations, you'll see where suicidal ideation is a little bit, it's higher among millennials and Gen X. We actually have had calls and have been supporting baby boomers as well. So it's not that that we're not helping every single generation, which is kind of exciting. And you'll see in that population, although it's a smaller size sample, that depression is also high there. So as we start thinking about what do these trends look like, they stay pretty steady around depression in the younger population. Trauma begins to kick in the millennial population, and then more broadly we go back to depression and anxiety. We are serving predominantly people who speak English and Spanish, as you can see when we look at ethnicity and language. Although we are interestingly working with the church, we've reached out and put cards inside the church, and so that we can tap deeper into both the African American population and the Asian population. We had some success in LA generating more interest from the Asian population, which is a tough culture to crack in terms of getting them to mental health care. We do compare your data to the Los Angeles County, so you can see the piece that's the highest is depression, where there is statistically significant difference around the depression that we're seeing in Paramount. But we can drill down at any point. I know tonight's not the appropriate venue, but if you would like to, we can drill down and figure out exactly where is that depression coming from, what age groups, what ethnicities, and then start to target programs or campaigns or efforts to help with that. And I'm happy to work with you on that. And then we look across each one of the categories, and you can again start to see what kinds of messaging do we need to make in our white population, the Hispanic population, and then on the other two pages you can see that we were able to tap in, as I said, into the Asian population for the first time. They're actually showing up in the data in a significant way. So we'll, again, reach out to the organizations that support them, to the churches, to you, and happy to form messaging in maybe your newsletters that we can tap into some of those. And I'll work with the city manager around that. And then in the month of February, so I figured we should take a look at February while I was focused a bit on January with the fires. In February, you'll see a higher degree than normal of people who accepted or asked for teletherapy. And that too was associated with a younger population, 18 to 25. And many of those were coming out of the fires and saying, I just need somebody to talk to. And the preference in this case were 63 folks wanting teletherapy, and then 105 that we placed into in-person therapy. We have a population that's asking for assessments, albeit it's still small, but 17 people. And then as you see in terms of placing people either into outpatient services, psychiatry, hospitalization, and applied behavioral analysis, by the way, is coming up in the much younger population, obviously. And then suicidal ideation and self-harm. We have I was like, does that still says 8, right? We have 8 individuals that we actually helped in that effort as well. So we're making progress. In terms of the insurance, this is always my proudest moment. Having been in a situation, never having insurance for a long time, but the public insurance and no insurance, we're helping your most vulnerable populations. If this is just simply a proxy for income, where 60 or almost 70% of the people that we're helping have no insurance or have public insurance. So we're tapping into a need. And we're delighted with the partnership, and I know I was trying to stick to our timing here, which for an Italian girl is sometimes more difficult, but I'm happy to answer any questions, dive deeper, and if at any point, City Manager, if you would like to go through this and create more deep dive around the data, I'm happy to set up something outside of City Council as well.
Yes. Are there any comments from my colleagues?
I just have
Any
one, Madam
questions?
Mayor.
Yes, go ahead.
Can you go to your first slide, please, where it showed the counts? I'm sorry that you have to go all the way back.
So there were a couple hundred people in February that we helped.
No, I think your very first slide. where it
Oh, my
showed
very
the-
first
yeah,
one.
very
So
first slide.
sorry.
So the 3,100 several referrals requests, so is that unique? So maybe is that one person calling and you did one unique referral, or is that one person multiple times calling?
It's one person calling.
Okay.
It could be, though, a couple of people in a family. So, but it is individuals.
Individuals, okay. And then John,
And that's over about 14 months. So I think we started December of 2023 till now.
14 months with 3,100.
Yeah.
So John, if we were to take the 3,118 divided by our population, I'm not a mathematician. I'm looking at the
You're
percentage
trying
of
to figure out
The utilization percentage?
Yeah.
I can include that on there each month if you would like as
areas.
well.
Yeah, that way we could just
Yeah.
kind of see kind of
Absolutely.
the percentage. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
Were you able to distribute information to all the churches in our community?
I have a list of those churches that we went to, and in fact, I believe that Mayor may have given them to me last time I was here. I got a list that came from one of the city council members, and then went back through, Maggie gave it to me. So I'm happy to resurrect that, we go all the time. So I have somebody in the streets all the time, taking cards over and sharing the QR codes. So if I've missed something, I'll share back with you my list. And if I've missed somebody, then please tell me, because we want to make sure we hit everybody.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. Thank
you
Ms.
very
Ward.
much.
Thank you. Next, we have a report on the city's historic context statement and historic resources survey. Mr. Moreno, may we have the report?
Yes,
please?
Madam Mayor, for over a year now, staff and our consultant have been preparing what's called a historic context statement and resource survey. This is actually a detailed historical report and survey of our community and properties within our town. So tonight, we're not asking for your approval on the report just yet. After you hear the presentation, we would like for you to provide us with input, ask questions as we put together the finishing touches on the report. So I'm going to turn it over to our planning director, John King, and then after he provides some background, he'll introduce the historical team. John?
Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you, John. Thank you, council members, Mayor Delgadillo. So we are really excited about this. This is a project that you approved for us to take on about a year ago, a little over a year ago. And it's kind of big. It's the history of Paramount in a nutshell, and connecting the built environment, which is buildings. So connecting the buildings and the places, the buildings, the properties, the people. So you got to include the people. And as John mentioned, we contracted with one of the best historic resources groups anywhere, and they're called Historic Resources Group. They're based out of Pasadena. Here's the team on the bottom. We have, that's just a tribute to 1948, as you know, the kids that brought out the news when there was a a late edition in those days, celebrating the merger of the two twin towns. 48 before it went on to 57. So the group. So this evening we have Christine Lazaretto, and Sion Winship, and they'll be coming up. And lots of backup. We had Alexandra and Robbie as well, doing tons of research. They dug through phone books and newspaper articles, and really, it's like digging for treasure. I just wanted to do a quick review before I hand it over on why. there's a lot of reasons, a lot of really good reasons. So I have 3 slides on that. The first is community. There is a strong community interest, and you could just here in this room, this building could be considered historic. And I'm looking at some historic photos across from me on the wall. So we are celebrating. We've been celebrating this for the Paramount's history for a long time. One example is there's a social media page, Progress in Paramount History, that now has over 3,200 members. It's quite a bit for a town, for a city of Paramount size. And just to put that in perspective, the city's official page has 10,000 followers. So just kind of lining that up. A lot of interest in history. So it's people who live here, and it's people who once lived here and moved out and want to keep those ties, and are thrilled when somebody uncovers an old photo. Public information. So we do have some information on the city website and other forums, but we want to kind of beef that up using best practices and be historically accurate. And it's timely. So, the museum is very close, right outside the parking lot over here. We're going to have a city museum, and this project ties the, it's a written document, but it ties the world around. The city adopted a general plan. That's our kind of blueprint for development over the years. And there is a policy. The city will identify and preserve sites and buildings that are important to the community for the benefit of the future generations that will reside or work in the city. So you're fulfilling that goal. Historical Society has really taken off. This document will complement and supplement the Historical Society's work. They're out doing surveys of their own and conducting oral interviews, and we already hear some very positive comments of the draft historic context statement, and it's very rich with information that will help the Historical Society. This is a testament to your leadership. CEQA, the California Environmental Quality Act. So by doing this survey, this will help with cultural resource consultants that have to do research for development projects. We have some coming up. Economic development, you tie history. A city that values its history tends to have a strong economy. This will back up the local economy and their goals. And future use. So this can be very informational, or it could be a launching pad to getting tax credits and grants to help out homeowners and other property owners improve their historic properties if they could be eligible for a registry on a future list of historic properties. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to the team. And excited about that too. Oh, yes. Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening. Thank you to the mayor and the council members for having us here tonight. I am Christine Lazaretto. I'm the managing principal of Historic Resources Group. I will be turning it over to my colleague Sion in a moment to walk you through the presentation. I mostly wanted to come tonight to thank you all for the opportunity to work on this project. These are our favorite types of things to do. It's always really exciting to come to a community and learn all about the history and help ourselves and the broader historic preservation community and of course the local community understand, how did Paramount come to be the Paramount that it is today. So we always are really excited at those opportunities and we always learn something new. So I want to thank you for the opportunity. I also wanted to thank city staff and the planning department for working with us so closely on this project, and also to thank the Paramount Historical Society. They were supporters throughout the project. They provided a lot of great information for our study, so I'm happy to hear that they're able to use our work in their continuing efforts in the city. They also held an event last fall where they helped us to gather historic photos and other information that greatly enriched the historic context statement. I also want to say that we always say that these are living documents, that you will always be learning something new about the history of the community, and of course time marches on, so there will be hopefully additional studies in the future to continue to tell the story of Paramount, but we want to thank you for the opportunity that we had to produce this study. And I'm here if there are any questions at the end, but with that I'd like to turn it over to Sion, who will give you a broad overview of the project. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Christine. Good evening, everyone. As John mentioned, there are really two main components to this project. The first is a narrative, which is a historic context statement. So it's a big, thick document of, I think, a couple of 100 pages, something like that, talking about the history of the built environment. And then the second part is a citywide historic resources survey. And that is basically where someone from our survey team went and laid eyes on each of the 6,600 and miscellaneous numbered parcels that you guys have here in the city, and looked at it, compared it with the context statement, and attempted to determine if there was anything potentially historically significant about it. So I do that? Perfect. So let's take each of one of these concepts here and just break it down a little bit. So what is a historic context statement? It's a very specialized form of historical writing with specific goals and requirements. It's not intended to be a chronological recitation of a community's significant historical events or noteworthy citizens or a comprehensive community history. So if you're thinking about writing a book on Paramount, we're not getting in your way. You're welcome to do that. Instead, this historic context statement is intended to provide an analytical framework for identifying and evaluating resources by placing built resources in the appropriate historic, social, and architectural context, so the relationship between an area's physical environment and its broader history can be evaluated. So this idea that the context statement and the survey work hand in hand to help identify potential historic resources. So how do we do this? We do it by any number of ways, but the basic thing is we use both primary and secondary resources. That includes maps, city directories, newspaper articles, personal letters, archives, anything we can get our hands on. And I will just say that it was especially challenging here in Paramount for any number of reasons, not the least of which is that your historic newspapers are not online. And let's just say the Hines area, the historic Hines area, is fairly loosely defined. I spent many hours myself looking up resources only to find out they were not within the city limits of present-day Paramount. And we didn't have a lot of early building permits. And so it was a bit of a challenge project, but I think the breadth and depth of what we found is a testament in and of itself. So what is this? Basically, it's a period of study is between Native American history through 1979. So when you want to take a look back at the 80s, it is something you will then have to update. As Christine said, these are living documents typically. And we were confined to the current city limits. And the scope of the study included national, state, and local events. So here are the overviews of the themes that are covered: the Native American period, European exploration and colonization, the Rancho era, early Clearwater and Hines, expansion in industrial and agricultural growth, so that's in the period between the 1920s and 1940s, World War II, and then the birth of Paramount, post-war prosperity and redevelopment, so from 1946 to 1979. I should also mention that this context statement takes a look at suburbanization and exclusionary practices within the city, and we talk about the diverse groups that have historically been here, and that is sprinkled throughout the entire document. So the second part of the project was a historic resources survey, as we said. And that is, again, to provide information on potential historic resources. It's important to understand that nothing is being designated as part of this project. We're just providing baseline information. Designation is its own very separate process, and currently there is no local ordinance with which to designate anything. So what you're getting out of the survey is a snapshot of the city's potential historic resources at this specific moment in time. And we do that through a number of ways. We do that through the national and state guidelines. So together we use these three criteria, that include being associated with events that have made a significant contribution to the broad patterns of history, that are criterion B, associated with the lives of persons significant in our past, or criterion C or 3, that embody the distinctive characteristics of a type, period, or method of construction that represent the work of a master or that possesses high artistic values. So in essence, architectural significance. Once we have examined each of the parcels for the eligibility criteria, through the context statement and our own visual recognition of what is there, we then have to evaluate what we call integrity. So we apply integrity considerations to each property and determine whether or not it retains, as we say in our work, sufficient integrity to convey its historic significance. And so here's just a bit of an overview. As I mentioned, there are 6,597 parcels that were developed prior to 1979. We did our reconnaissance survey, our windshield drives. We did everything from the public right-of-way, and then basically looked at a deeper dive into documentation and research on specific parcels as was warranted. And here are the recommendations. In total, we found 98 properties potentially individually eligible. And as you can see, the vast majority of those were residential, although there were commercial and civic and institutional. And spoiler alert, we're standing in one of them right now. There is also a few industrial and infrastructure properties as well, so just under 100 properties. And if we break those down by historic context or theme, as you can see, we found 17 that were associated with the early Clearwater and Hines period, 31 during the expansion and growth period of the 20s to the 40s, a couple from World War II, 38 from the birth of Paramount, the city's prosperity and redevelopment, and 34 for their architecture and design, and 3 associated with an ethnic group. Those 3, just FYI, were the Nisei Japanese Baptist Church, Yian's Market, and the Hines DES Portuguese Hall, all important groups in the history of the city of Paramount. So here, as you can see, this is an overview. We did not find any historic districts, only properties that were potentially individually eligible. And there's quite a geographic distribution, as you can see here. So just a couple of examples, quick examples. Here are some that were, we thought potentially eligible for their association with events or patterns. So you have some commercial development here for the early days of Hines and Clearwater, just across the street from us. We also have, again, across the street in the other direction, what is now known as the SAW building. And then just to show you the breadth, there's the post-war multifamily residential at 560 Orange Avenue. And then a little bit of eye candy from Paramount architecture. You can see we found everything from lovely little vernacular cottages with hip roofs to late modern to, of course, lovely Spanish colonial revival with the drive-in market there. So that's basically an overview of the project and what we found. And I think we'd be happy to take any questions.
Are there any comments from my colleagues?
I have a few questions.
Yes, go ahead.
Mayor.
Go ahead, Vice Mayor.
First, I just want to say that I read the document and it was absolutely intriguing. I mean, I learned so much. For me personally, I was not aware whatsoever of the contributions from, and it has a name that I can't pronounce. I was going to ask you to tell me how to pronounce it for the Asian population. You guys said that the modern term is, and it was something I think with a T, and I'd never heard that term before, but you guys.
Nothing's come
Yeah, so it's in your document. It was really fascinating, and the contributions that they made to the city of Paramount. I'd never heard those things before. There were so many recognizable names and as you said, structures, and it was so in depth that I actually spoke to the city manager to try to understand more of what the document was actually for, because like you said, there's so much more that's not in it. And so if you can help me clarity wise, I get what you're saying, that this is, from what I understood from them, to kind of catalog everything that we have that has historical value, for future reference in case we come up with an ordinance and want to designate those things. But behind properties, there was also so much history that you gave about people and movement and why. And so my question then becomes, why did we stop at that date? Because personally, I know that from the time that a lot of those buildings existed on Paramount Boulevard and a certain way of life, Paramount took dramatic changes starting in the 70s and 80s, which is kind of where we're all at, but there's 40 years there. And so I'm just wondering why.
Thank you for your comments and for that question. I will try to provide an answer, and then certainly John and Sion, if you have more to add. So just to address the first part of your comment about what is the document used for, because it seems like we're kind of bridging two things. Like you said, it's about identifying things in the built environment, but there's also quite a bit of background narrative in there as well. So the idea is for this study to help understand, like I said, how Paramount became what it is today. Why does it look the way that it does? Why are residential neighborhoods developed in the way that they were? When were those tracts subdivided? That kind of thing. All of that is background information that leads you to why might this little house be eligible. We also include that amount of background information because, as John mentioned, you'll be doing environmental studies and other studies for planning department purposes. And it's really hard, I can say from experience, when you're asked to come in and look at something in a community, if there isn't a background document, such as a context statement, you're starting at ground zero. You don't understand the population of resources. You don't understand who the people were. So I can look up who lived at a house, but I don't have any frame of reference to identify whether that might be significant or not. So a lot of that background information is hopefully to provide a springboard for additional studies. And it's kind of the methodology for preparing these documents. So it's sort of enough background information so that we can understand the built environment in order to do our project, and then provide additional information for the future. In terms of the period of study, this is always something we struggle with. We'd love to write, through today, really, because there's lots of interesting things that keep happening. But just for a variety of reasons, 40 years is generally the cutoff that is used for these types of surveys. The National Park Service specifies that things need to be at least 50 years old to be considered historic. The California Register isn't that strict about it, but they still say that there needs to be enough separation from the historic period to have an understanding, not as a contemporary, but really from a historical perspective. And so, we sort of look at a time frame that makes sense. I would also say that because this was the first ever comprehensive study of the city of Paramount, we needed to make sure that we had enough in the budget and the time frame that we had to make sure that all the early periods of history were really fully documented. And so we thought, well, we'll bring it up to 1979. And as you mentioned, a lot of things started changing in the 80s, so it made sense from a transformation of the built environment perspective as well. And so I would say, one of our recommendations would be obviously that when you go to update this document or you do studies in the future, you would start sort of at that precipice of the late 1970s into the 1980s and look forward from there. So, like I said, a lot of factors go into that decision, but I do understand your question.
And it did seem to the closer that you got to current time, 79, the less information there was. Super in depth in those beginning years, but then it kind of became less and less and less. Was that to kind of transition out of the document?
I would say that's partly the reason, and of course there's less information about things that happened more recently. So there may be news articles, but there wouldn't be academic studies or books or other things about more recent areas of history. Whereas things that happened earlier in the 20th, late 19th and early 20th century have been more fully documented. It's also, because we're providing a nexus between what happened and the built environment, there are fewer resources from those later periods, and so there was less documentation needed to support the findings in the survey. So
It'll be interesting if we move in that direction to see what kind of stuff you're looking for, because I can think of a lot of different resources that are out there. But because to me that document doesn't just focus on the historical buildings or places, but the history, I would just like to suggest that we continue that, maybe get a quote and find out what it is to kind of document our history up to the point that is, because to me it's like, yeah, we went to this point, but Paramount is nothing like Paramount was in the 70s. It's not the same city at all, so it doesn't really, yes, it's our history, but 50 years is a lot of history too, and we don't have anything on that. So I was just so impressed by it. I guess what I'm saying is I'd like to see more.
well, we would love to come back if you'd have us. So,
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're very welcome. All right. Well, this item is for receive and file, and we'll move on to the next item. Thank you, ladies, very, very much. Item 22 is consideration of a resolution of necessity for accusation of the Hay Tree property by eminent domain. Mr. Moreno, may we have the report, please?
Sure thing, Madam Mayor. With this next item, we are asking the City Council to adopt what's called a resolution of necessity, which is one of the primary steps to acquire property. In this case, we're talking about the 3 parcels that are in and around the Hay Tree next to the Paramount Saw Building. Before I turn it over to our city attorney, I wanted to give you a refresher about what our plan is for this property should the City Council to decide to move forward with this action tonight. So if I could go to the next slide. So you may remember this from a prior presentation about a year and a half ago. Paramount Boulevard's to your right. The entrance and exit to the Civic Center is on top of the screen. The Paramount Saw Building is on the bottom. So now that you're oriented with it, you see where the number 10 is. That's the current location of the Hay Tree. So we're talking about all of this green space right here, as well as where it says Civic Center Drive. Believe it or not, that's part of the parcels, that the 3 parcels that we are discussing tonight. So the plan that was presented to you, the conceptual plan that what we would do with this park, would include a trellis that would come off of the existing building, the Paramount Saw Building there, along with a deck for eating. And that would be for park goers, for anybody from the public that would want to come and enjoy a meal there. Additionally, you see where the number 5 is. That's where there would be a permanent stage that would be set up for musical events and different things of that nature. We would also have lighting. You can see the overhead lights, as well as different types of signage throughout the area. So if you can go to the next slide. This kind of shows you a street view of what it would look like. Again, the Hay Tree to the right. This is just, again, something that we presented to you a year and a half, 2 years ago, showing as a possibility of what could be built here. So with that vision in mind, I'll now turn it over to Ms. Regina Danner, who works with our city attorney, Nick Gorelli, to handle the remaining of this item. Regina?
Thank you, Mr. Moreno. Good evening, Honorable Mayor and members of the City Council. We have for your consideration this evening the adoption of a resolution of necessity to acquire by eminent domain the fee interest in the real property located at 16471 Paramount Boulevard It's also further described as assessor parcel numbers 7120-027-019 and 020. The city seeks to construct this project for the Civic Center Improvement Project. This project has multiple components to it. It's not just one thing. The public purpose and use would be to preserve a historic resource, to improve public parking facilities, and improvements to existing public facilities and public recreation space. As we've been talking about historic resources, one of the historic resources that is near and dear to the city is the hay tree here on the subject property. The hay tree is more than 120 years old and was designated as a California Historic Landmark in August 2003. Currently, the city only has an easement for landscaping and maintenance of the tree itself. The proposed acquisition seeks to acquire the underlying fee interest in the land, which will give the city the ability to make improvements to the surrounding open space to provide outdoor community event space. Mr. Moreno went through and described some of the proposed improvements. A full list of the improvements are also set forth in the agenda report before you today. Another component to this public project is the public parking facility. The project would help accommodate the growth and the increased community needs of the city of Paramount. The city currently has 104 city-controlled public parking spaces. The proposed project would result in 146 city-controlled parking spaces. It would increase accessible spaces by 3, and it would have 4 EV charging stations that would be available to the general public. There are additional improvements that would also be associated with the public parking lot, and again, a detailed description of those improvements are set forth in the agenda report. Finally, the city also proposes to provide upgrades to the existing public plaza area that extends from Paramount Boulevard westerly into the project area. The public plaza would remain accessible and open to the public. It would replace and repair existing fountains, relocate a sculpture, provide enhanced paving, site furnishings, seatings, landscaping, lighting, and other improvements. All of these components are part of the overall project, which is intended to benefit the community, residents, and visitors of the city by creating more passive recreation space, additional public parking, improved community facilities, and preserving a historic landmark that is at the very heart of this community. The property is currently, the subject property, which we will call the hay tree property, is owned by the Paramount General Hospital Company. The city considered when it was going through the SECRA review, the city found that this property was subject to a categorical exemption, which was approved on February 5th, 2005. I'm sorry, 2025. Just a little bit off. In order to adopt a resolution of necessity, the City Council has to make 4 findings. Those 4 findings are that the public interest and necessity require the project, that the project is planned and located in a manner that is most compatible with the greatest public good and the least private injury, that the hay tree property is necessary for the project, and that the city has made an offer as required by Government Code Section 7267.2 to the record owners of the hay tree property. The facts, the detailed facts supporting each of these 4 findings are included in the agenda report, which is incorporated into the record of this proceeding. A 4/5 vote of the City Council is required in order to adopt a resolution of necessity. Legal counsel for the property owner has submitted a letter setting forth their objections to the adoption of the resolution of necessity. A copy of the objection letter is also incorporated into the record of this proceeding. If the resolution of necessity is adopted, we will continue our efforts to try to negotiate a settlement with the property owner as we take this concurrent path of eminent domain. Price is not a factor before the City Council this evening. That concludes my report. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, I will open the hearing. And is there any testimony from the property owner or other interested parties?
Yes, Madam Mayor, there was a letter submitted by the property owner that Ms. Danner mentioned, and it has been placed on the dais. And that's all the testimony that's been received.
Okay, well, I will call for motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second.
Okay, are there any comments from my colleagues?
I move we adopt resolution number 25009.
Second.
Okay, is there a motion for this item? Yes, there is. Miss City Clerk, may I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Aguayo?
Yes.
Councilmember Olmos? Councilmember Quer-Stallings?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lemons? Mayor Delgadillo?
Yes. Our next item is a report on updated guidelines for the residential air purifier and filter rebate program. Mr. Moreno, may we have the report, please?
Yes, Madam Mayor. Next, we're proposing to change a few of the parameters for our air purifier program, and this includes increasing the dollar amount of the rebate that we offer to residents. So with that, I'll turn it over to our planning director, Mr. John King, who will handle the item. John?
Thanks, John. Thank you, Mayor Delgadillo and council members. So the residential air purifier and filter rebate program, a mouthful, it's been in existence since 2018, and it was a response to just the realization that the air isn't great in this region. We're surrounded by freeways, as you know. We did not put the freeways where they are, but they're there. We're very close to the ports of Los Angeles, the port of Long Beach, and those tons of trucks going north and south on the 710 and the surrounding freeways. So so to deal with the air, to help folks in their homes, the city council at the time adopted this program, giving rebates for home air purifier systems. So this is still on the books, the same amount from that time. So it's been 6 years, $100 for air purifiers and $50 for filters. And the way the program's set up, you can somebody who wants a rebate for one of these cannot mix them. It's either one or the other. It's pretty strict. We've had a couple instances where we kind of bended the rules a little bit, but we want to formally, make it the law of the land that you can you can mix these two. So, what's an air purifier? What's eligible? True HEPA. They have to be qualified true HEPA air purifiers, so capturing the bulk of the microparticles. And you can see through this chart that the expenditures have gone down. There was quite a bit of interest to start. And as we started with $10,000, we got it down to $5,000, and then the present $2,500 allocation per year. We're still not spending that amount, and that's despite ongoing outreach. We've been doing a lot of outreach through the years, periodic social media posts 2 to 3 times a year. In recent months, the more recent months, we've kind of held back a little bit, just knowing that we were going to bring this to you. We're anticipating changing the grant amount, so we didn't want to advertise one thing and change it to something else. But since 2018, we've had plenty of outreach, city website, the Paramount Environment website, and there's a little excerpt from it, and flyers at city events and facilities. So what we're looking at is with the inflation, the costs are rising, so it'd be helpful to help put in more money. So increasing the current $100 rebate amount by $50 for air purifiers, so up to $150, adding 50 to 100. And then for the air filters, we have a current $50 rebate, adding another $25 to bring it to $75. can allow in a combination of the two up to $200. And then we've had a few instances where the, maybe we're all doing this. We're a little slow on bringing our receipts to, for whatever type of program. Folks are taking their time and they became ineligible for waiting too long. So just to help them out, just add a little more time. So going from 30 days to 90 days for eligibility. And just another little cleanup is to exclude gift cards. It's hard to track oftentimes it's hard to track the payment of gift cards toward a legitimate air purifier. So just to kind of clean that up. And that's really it. We're definitely open to any suggestions. We're recommending receive and file and provide any feedback you may have. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Are there any comments from my colleagues? None? Okay, this item is for receive and file. We will move on to the next item. Thank you, John. Next, we'll have consideration of proposed changes to the education and military banner locations. Mr. Moreno, may we please have the report?
Certainly, Madam Mayor. You know, there's been a lot of discussion recently around the relocation of our education banners. I informed you recently that our proposed plan would be to swap current locations for the military banners that are on Paramount with the education banners which go up on Alondra. So this next presentation, we'd like to present you more details about this plan and receive your formal approval. With that, I'll turn it over to Community Services Director, Ms. Yesenia Guillen. Yesenia?
Thank you, John. Good evening, Madam Mayor and members of the City Council. As John mentioned, this evening, City staff is proposing changes to the locations of education and military banners. In 2016, the city launched the Military Banner Recognition Program, also known as Boulevard of Heroes. This program was established to pay tribute to the brave men and women who are currently serving in the armed forces. These banners are displayed year-round along Paramount Boulevard, stretching between Somerset Boulevard and Rosecrans Avenue. 2 years later, in 2018, the city expanded its recognition efforts to include the Education Banner Program, also known as Boulevard of Scholars. This program celebrates the academic achievements and promising futures of our students. Banners are displayed during the summer months along Alondra Boulevard between Downey Avenue and Paramount Boulevard. A replica of the military banner is presented at the City Council meeting. The banner is then displayed until the service member retires. Once a service member retires, the banner is brought down and is retrieved from our Community Services office by the service member or their family member. Like the military banner program, a replica of the education banner is presented during the Education City Council meeting. The banner is then displayed during the summer, and once it's brought down, the student's family can retrieve it from our Community Services office. To enhance visibility of the military banner program, we have dedicated a section on the city website. The flyer is also available at all city events at our city booth. Lastly, we aim to promote the program to our graduating high school students who will be enlisting in the U.S. Armed Forces. Recently, there has been discussions regarding the potential changes to education, military banner programs. During the city's ad hoc meetings, it was proposed to display the education banners year-round closer to our local schools to better motivate our Paramount Unified School District students. The initial proposed location for the education banners was on the utility poles surrounding Paramount High School. However, after conducting an inventory, it was determined that there was not enough utility poles directly adjacent to Paramount High School to accommodate the number of education banners intended for display. The second option that was proposed was to swap the military banners and the education banners. The Boulevard of Scholars were moved from Alondra Boulevard to Paramount Boulevard, and the Boulevard of Heroes was shifted from Paramount Boulevard to Alondra Boulevard. If approved by City Council tonight, this change will accomplish the goal of making education banners more visible on a year-round basis, as it will be directly visible to students attending Paramount High School West Campus, Paramount Park Middle School, and Our Lady of the Rosary. Following a comprehensive logistics review of Alondra Boulevard and Paramount Boulevard, our staff is confident that these locations offer ample space to accommodate both banner programs. We are proposing to move the military banner program to Alondra Boulevard between Downey Avenue and Paramount Boulevard. This area currently has 38 available locations for displaying military banners. We currently have 28 military banners representing various branches of the U.S. Armed Forces, Army, Navy, Marines, Coast Guard, Space Force, the Reserve, and National Guard. We do have plenty of spaces available to continue growing the program through our targeted marketing efforts. We are proposing to move the education banner program to Paramount Boulevard between Somerset and Rosecrans Avenue, which has 40 poles available to use. We currently have 32 banners that are proudly displayed on Alondra Boulevard. 25 banners feature the top 25 students from Paramount High School, 5 banners from the top 5 students from Odyssey STEM Academy, and 2 banners from the top 2 students from Buena Vista High School. Overall, the change in locations for the military banner program and education banner would better accommodate the number of banners and provide the goal to display the education banners year-round. For the medium pole suited in northbound on Rosecrans and southbound on Somerset, staff will install banners featuring a welcoming message. For example, welcome to the Boulevard of Scholars. The banners will proudly showcase the logos of the City of Paramount and Paramount Unified School District. At this time, there's no fiscal impact associated with relocating the banners. Expenses related to the military banner, including pole hardware and banners, will be managed during the city's regular budgeting process. Costs associated with the education banner will be reimbursed to the city by Paramount Unified School District as agreed upon with the school district. It is recommended that the City Council approve the proposed education military banner location changes and provide staff with direction to move them accordingly. And that concludes my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Are there any comments from my colleagues?
I just have one question.
Yes.
You know, there's 28 military. There's no way that we can build it around our statues out here, like where we have the military, right here outside of Paramount.
Yes.
The memorial. The memorial. Is there any way that we can, build it around our memorials to have their? I don't know.
Looking at
That's the
Adriana, I
question.
don't think we have utility poles there, correct?
No.
We don't. Okay.
That we will be able to.
We don't have any streetlights out there, no?
We do have some streetlights, but probably not sufficient.
But not enough.
And then
I
we
think
have
we
to-
proposed that.
Yeah.
But also, we have some banners here for schools, right, for students.
Correct. Council, if you recall, here at the Civic Center, we have the top 5 students, the volunteer students, and we also have the momentum students that we keep, right? But just a reminder, we do go into our Christmas season, and the goal with the military banners is that they stay obviously up the entire year. So we will be bringing them down and obviously bringing them back up if that would be a discussion.
Are you moving the student ones back over? Or you're gonna keep them here?
We're
as
gonna
well?
keep them here,
Oh.
yes.
Why don't you can't put the students all together?
Well, it's different kinds of students too, the momentum.
Yeah, but I mean it's still the high school like students, right? I just
They
thought
are.
it'd be
Oh,
right.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh,
One's scholars and the other is
Yeah.
Yeah.
really about scholars.
Just wondering.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of cool to put it around here, but
Yeah, the ones that go up here don't say the college names. You know, the ones that,
yeah.
Yes,
so
the
they just.
service hours,
Right,
whatever, yeah.
exactly. So,
Hours, okay,
yeah.
got it. Okay.
okay.
Are there any more comments from the colleagues?
I motion.
Okay, motion?
Approved.
Okay,
Proposed.
Miss City Clerk, may we have roll call, please?
Councilmember Aguayo?
Yes.
Councilmember Olmos?
Yes.
Councilmember Quer Stallings?
Definitely.
Vice Mayor Lemons? Mayor Delgadillo?
Yes. Our next item is a report on updated guidelines for the residential air purifier and filter rate rebate. Didn't we already have this?
Yes, we did, Madam Mayor.
Yeah,
We're on item number 25.
that's what it says here. Yeah. Oh, for approval. Okay.
We already did.
We already did this for the.
This is for the Friday night
Okay,
pop-up
this is.
traffic control.
Yeah, you know what? There was an error here. Okay, the next item on the report is for Friday night pop-up traffic
Yes.
control plans and equipment rental services. Asking for an approval. Are there any comments from colleagues? Oh, Mr. Moreno, may we have the report, please? Excuse me.
Sure, Madam Mayor.
Yeah.
A
Okay.
couple of years ago, the City Council requested that we move some of our events around to different parts of the city. We've done that. So we've held what's called pop-up Friday night markets in areas other than the usual spot in our downtown here. So this next item is to highlight the location of 2 new events that will be located elsewhere than just our downtown. And so we're asking for your approval on a couple things here tonight. So with that, I'll turn it over to our Public Works Director, Adriana Figueroa, to go over in greater detail about what this is about. Adriana?
Thank you, John. Madam Mayor, members of the City Council, I'm going to jump right in. So, the city typically hosts the Friday Night Paramount on Friday nights from March through November in the downtown area. This year, we are planning to host 2 of these events as pop-up events at other locations to make it more accessible and convenient for residents to attend and participate in the festivities. As part of the event planning efforts, staff will be incorporating meridian barriers as enhanced protection measures for city events with street closures. This will require the rental of additional equipment to supplement the city's inventory of barriers. This year, the city is proposing to host the Friday Night Paramount pop-up events at the following locations. The first location is on Orange Avenue between Cortland and Travis Drive. This pop-up event is scheduled for March 21st from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. The event will include music, food, and vendors. The second location is at the intersection of Jackson Street and Gundry Avenue, and that event is slated for May. Traffic control plans were prepared for each of these locations by the city's traffic engineer. And as part of the city event street closures, Meridian mobile barriers will be incorporated again for added protection measures. These barriers are used to protect people and property from vehicles and will be strategically placed at road closures locations. For reference, here's the traffic control plan for the event on Orange Avenue between Cortland and Travis Drive. The red rectangular box is the general area of where the event will take place. The closures indicated by the red circles will be on the east side of Orange Avenue, just north of Travis Drive, and at the east side of Orange Avenue where Cortland Avenue and Orange intersect. Residents located on the west side of Orange will be able to enter and exit their neighborhoods through the frontage road and access point near Haji Drive. I should note that the horse stable near this location has been notified about the event coming up, and if approved, community services staff will begin outreach efforts to promote the event, including hand delivery of the event flyers to residents in the area. Here's the traffic control plan for the second Friday Night Paramount pop-up event. This location will be at the intersection of Jackson and Gundry Avenue. The general event space will be the area denoted in red. This event will include street closures on Gundry Street south of Marcel and closures on Jackson Street, both east and west of Gundry Avenue. Again, as part of the city event street closures, Meridian mobile barriers are needed to provide enhanced protection measures. The city did purchase a limited number of these barriers in 2022 for city event use and will supplement its equipment needs with rentals on an as-needed basis to ensure adequate coverage depending on the traffic control plan. The barriers are solely manufactured by Meridian Rapid Defense Group Rentals, LLC. Per the city's purchasing policy, as outlined in the municipal code related to sole source vendors, staff recommends exemption from regular bidding process and selects this vendor for equipment rental needs to supplement the city's existing Meridian barrier inventory for continuity and safety. Given city event schedule and anticipated equipment rental needs, this requires city council approval. There is no fiscal impact as the City Council previously approved a fiscal year 25 mid-year budget adjustment that included rental equipment of these barriers. And with that, staff recommends approval of this item. That concludes my presentation, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Are there any comments from my colleagues?
No.
I'll move the item.
Okay.
Second.
All right, Ms. City Clerk, may I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Aguayo?
Yes.
Councilmember Olmos? Councilmember Quer Stallings?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lemons?
Yes.
Mayor Delgadillo?
Yes.
The motion carries.
Next, we have an award of contract for the median enhancements project on Alondra Boulevard and Orange Avenue, City Project 9435. Mr. Moreno, may we please have the report?
Yes, Madam Mayor, this last item on the agenda has to do with our meeting enhancements. The Aesthetics Subcommittee directed us to extend reclaimed water lines to medians where it's cost effective and it makes sense. This will allow us to plant grass, which tends to grow better and is easier to maintain than drought-tolerant plants. So we're requesting your approval of this, and I'll turn it back over to our Public Works Director, Ms. Adriana Figueroa, to give you details on where this is and how much it's going to cost. Adriana?
Thank you, John. Madam Mayor, members of the council, by way of background, one of the city priorities is to enhance the aesthetics of its medians along our arterial streets. Staff worked closely with the Landscape Ad Hoc Committee to identify a landscaping palette and aesthetic standards for the medians. This was later reviewed and approved by the City Council. Through that process, direction was given to convert existing irrigation lines wherever possible to reclaim water irrigation, also known as the purple pipe system, so that we can support grass growth and flower plantings. Here's an example of a prior reclaimed water line conversion. This is, of course, Lakewood Boulevard, north of Somerset. As you can see, we transform the aesthetics in this area by simply converting the irrigation from potable water to reclaimed water. This is, by the way, the only way we can have grass on our medians, given the statewide water conservation mandates that we must follow. Converting from potable water to reclaim has its challenges. We must look at our existing reclaimed water lines and determine what areas are more technically feasible for this type of conversion, given the distance to existing connections. The medians identified here are those that met the criteria and could be converted to a reclaimed water system. The first location is the median on Rosecrans Avenue, the red box located on the top of your screen, from our west city boundary to Orange Avenue. The second location is the median on Alondra Boulevard, the red box located on the bottom of your screen, also from the west city boundary to Orange Avenue. Design was prepared by the city's contracted civil engineering firm, Wildan. The request for proposals was released on January 20th, with bids due on February 25th. The city received 3 bids. After completing the bid analysis, which includes reviewing itemized costs, certifications, and confirmation of good standing, contractor Marina Landscape, Inc. was deemed to be the low, responsive, and responsible bid in the amount of $49,500. The total project cost, including a 10% contingency, comes to $54,450. In terms of fiscal impact, funding was budgeted in the fiscal year 25 CIP program budget as city project number 9435. No additional appropriation is needed at this time. In summary, staff is recommending the City Council approve the award of contract to Marina Landscape for the reclaimed irrigation line conversion project. This concludes my presentation, and I'm available to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, are there any comments from my colleagues?
No. Move the item.
All right, Ms. City Clerk, may I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Aguayo?
Yes.
Councilmember Olmos? Councilmember Quer Stallings?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lemons?
Yes.
Mayor Delgadillo?
Yes. Next, we have the successor agency consent calendar. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Okay, may we have roll call, please?
Councilmember Aguayo?
Yes.
Councilmember Olmos? Councilmember Quer Stallings?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lemons?
Yes.
Mayor Delgadillo?
Yes. Now is the time for comments and committee reports. We'll start with Vice Mayor Lemons.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd just like to report that Council Member Olmos and myself continue to meet with the mobile home park owners and the residents of Paramount regarding the draft of an MOU. Everybody is being very respectful and listening to everybody's information that are sharing at the meeting, so we're very grateful for that. And I also attended my monthly SIACA meeting. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much. Councilmember Olmos?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just really want to quick just say that we all went, Vilma, myself, and the mayor, we went to Pathways 40th anniversary. Congratulations, Pathways, for your continued support to our Paramount residents. And that's all I have to report. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Aguayo, please.
Yeah, thank you. So I, along with Councilmember Quer Stallings, we attended the MUSA Women's Appreciation event that they had. And they're always so grateful to the city. They do so much for us, but they're just so thankful for the city and the support. And it's great to see how they grew from this small group to this huge force, really. And the stories that they shared amongst them and how the group has helped them individually was really just, it was really great to see that. So it was really nice to be there. And again, I feel we should be thanking them, and they continue to pour their love, to us in the city. So that's all I have.
Thank you so much. Councilmember Cuellar Stallings?
Yes, as my colleagues mentioned, we did attend Pathways in Musa. Musa was very emotional this year. They gave out an award and just the recognition of these ladies and the power that they have in this community is really awesome. And I'm so grateful to them for them being in our community and helping in our communities. And next I have is I went to see the children, boys and girls go play basketball. And it was really nice on Saturday. I just sat down on the bench and just watched them play. And before I knew it, I had a grandparent speaking to me and asking me, who I was and who was my child or granddaughter out there. And I said, no, I don't have no one. And they were very, very happy with the city of Paramount, the great things that they're doing for Parks and Recreation. And the lady said, I love Paramount and I love the recreation. So I did mention to her if she could put it on social media, and please let them know that, let the community know that she loves Paramount and she loves everything that the city does. And also I went to the workout yesterday with the seniors with instructor Ron Robertson. Oh my God, 80 seniors attended this class.
Great.
And it went from 15 to 20 to 80. And I thought I was going to walk in and I thought I was going to see these seniors, not being very active. But the first thing they approached me about, they told me I took cuts, that I went in front of the line. And then, so anyway, I apologize for that. And then second is I participated for a whole hour. And I am very, very sore. Ron Robertson is a good instructor. The back of my legs and my shoulders, ay, Dios mío. But anyway, I had a lot of fun. And it was a lot of fun to see them interacting. He has an advanced, intermediate, and beginners. Well, they wanted to put me in the advanced. And I said, no, I'll stay over here in the beginners. And I'm glad I stayed in the beginners. But anyway, it was a wonderful, and they did ask for some things, but I did speak to the director, Yesenia Gillen, about it, and they'll be looking forward to seeing a little bit more equipment coming to them. That's all I have, Madam Mayor.
Oh, thank you. Councilmember Cuellar Stallings, you are so funny. I love it. You get involved in everything with your whole heart.
I'm over there exercising. Oh my God.
You're the life of the party. Okay. Thank you. As for myself, I also attended the Pathways 40th anniversary with my colleagues, Councilmember Olmos and Councilmember Cuellar Stallings. And Pathways celebrated the 40th anniversary of service, providing compassionate care to families living with illnesses and loss. And I also attended the Chamber of Commerce ribbon cuttings with my colleagues and staff. And the first one was Jasmine Orzaba. Paramount welcomed the beautiful new homes to the neighborhood, and they are gorgeous. Second, Inkhead Prints celebrated their 20th anniversary in business here in Paramount, so congratulations to them. And also, Councilmember Olmos and I supported Miss Margaret Garcia's first grade class, and we read for Dr. Seuss Read Across America. And that was a joy to do, and it felt so good to be back in the classroom. And that's all I have today. Mr. Moreno, are there any comments from staff?
Yes, Madam Mayor, just a couple of real quick introductions. First off is our new interim finance director, Mr. Paul Espinoza. Paul, wave your hand there. Paul is a retired finance director with 32 years, am I correct? 32 years of service for a variety of different cities. So he comes with us with a lot of experience, and he's obviously filling in for Kim Sao, who who left us to take a job out in Chino. So welcome, Paul, and we're happy to have you as part of our team for the interim period. Our next introduction is our new service area lieutenant in the back. Can you stand up, Lieutenant Guillen? There's Lieutenant Adrian Guillen. We're very happy to have him. He started March 3rd here, so he's just been here for a week. He has nearly 16 years of experience with the Sheriff's Department, including service time at the West Hollywood Station, the Malibu Lost Hills Station, Palmdale Station, Training Bureau, Narcotics, and Internal Affairs. So he's very well rounded, and he's a welcome addition to our team. Welcome, Lieutenant. And that concludes our introduction.
I'd like to add a little something too. Lieutenant Gillen also supported Read Across America, reading to the children in Miss Garcia's classroom. Thank you so much, and it was so nice to meet you there. Thank you, sir. Okay, we're ready to move on. Now, the City Council will recess into closed session. Mr. Moreno, will you please announce the closed session item, sir?
Absolutely, Madam Mayor. This is to announce that the City Council will now go into closed session for conference with the legal counsel, existing litigation per Government Code Section 54956.9 subsection D1, one case, Shadowwood Development versus City of Paramount.
Okay, I now call the City Council meeting back to order in open session. Mr. Gorelli, may we please have the report from closed session?
Thank you, Mayor. The City Council met in closed session to discuss the one item on the posted agenda. All 5 council members were present. The City Council provided direction on a proposed settlement agreement. If approved by the parties, a copy will be made available for review. That's my report. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. There being no further business before the City Council, this meeting is adjourned to a joint meeting with the Planning Commission on March 25th, 2025 at 3:30 p.m. here in the City Council Chamber Hall. The next regular meeting of the City Council will be held on March 25th, 2025 at 5 p.m. Was that meeting canceled or for?
It's still up in the air. It's still up in the air. I know you got a notice, but then after you received a notice, we heard back from the petitioner, and he may be back on for the 25th.
Oh, okay.
We'll let you know hopefully by tomorrow.
All right.
So
okay.
That's hot off the press. Look at Heidi's looking at. Sorry, Ms. Luce. I know I just got that information like late this afternoon.
Okay, this meeting's
Sorry.
adjourned.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.